नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वलितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरुर्पदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, कृष्ण भगवान की जय, गीता माता की जय। हरि ओम। We are discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, and yesterday we saw 9th shloka, and today we shall see the 10th. Vitaraga bhaya krodha मनमया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः। Freed from attachment, fear and anger, observed in me, taking refuge in me, purified by the fire of knowledge, many have attained to me, my being. O Arjuna, when one gets knowledge of the self, attachment to sense objects ceases. We are discussing Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha, how to get rid of attachment, fear and anger. These are the root cause of our bondage and all the miseries of the world. So somehow or other, wherever we go to see the scriptures, we get all these only the way to get out of all these causes for bondage and miseries. Because of all these negative qualities in a being, the world becomes a house of miseries only. Dukhalayam asasvatam. So now Lord Krishna is giving just the qualities. Who can come to me? Who do come to me? And what happens? By what means they get able to come to me? And what happens then? These facts Lord Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupasitaha Bahavu madbhavamagataha jnana tapasa puta. All these qualities belong to him who come to me. Freed from attachment, fear and anger. These three causes are the root cause of all our miseries. One who is not attached to what? This is a very complicated question. Attached to what? And the answer we may give, what not. Attachment for everything. Whatever action or contact is repeated again and again, there will be attachment. And repetition is our process of life. Nobody can help it. Time repeats, nature repeats everything. Everything is repeated. Day and night, years after years, everything is repeated. Today we are not seeing this spring season.
Today was the rainy season.
Yes, it comes every year. Once or somehow, by the way it comes. Spring comes every year. Not only this year it has come. Everything repeats. Today is Thursday. How many times it repeats? Every week it repeats. Now it is 8:40. Does it not repeat again and again? Everything repeats. And at the same time, we say the time which has gone will never come again. This is what is the secret of relativity. Anyhow, to get rid of these three demonic qualities, negative qualities, we have to see how it becomes possible for a practitioner, for a seeker. When one gets knowledge of the self, attachment to sense objects ceases. Attachment will be reduced and it will stop. There will not be any attachment when there will be dawn of knowledge. What is called knowledge then? Knowledge, we know, it is of two types. One is experiential knowledge, which never changes, which is one in everyone, which is same in everyone. What experience you get by tasting honey, the same I also experience. It will not be different. But the informative knowledge always differs, and there is change in the informative knowledge. Informative knowledge is some information on the object or subject we get, and we have seen matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama apayanam nityam anityam tam titikshasva bharata. When the senses get contact with the sense objects, then we perceive the object, we know something about the object, and that becomes a haphazard because it is momentary. Every moment the contact changes, go on changing from object to object. Why it is so? Because mind is changing every moment. Because thought waves change. Every thought is created and destroyed then and there, giving rise to other thoughts, other waves. In this way, everything is subject to change. Nature means imbalanced state of the three qualities. So naturally there will be changes. And this change gives us partial knowledge of the object contacted by the senses with the object. This is how we get haphazard information. And that information is subject to change, so it can increase, it can be forgotten also. So both way. So what is the way out of it? The senses should not have any contact with these sense objects. Then only we can get rid of the informative knowledge. And when there is no informative knowledge, what remains? Only the experiential knowledge remains. If the senses are not in contact with the objects, then senses keep quiet. They have nothing to do. When the senses keep quiet, mind has got no work. Mind is always supported by the senses and the objects of the senses. So mind also gets stability, and then it becomes one-pointed, and one-pointed thought gets the real knowledge, experiential knowledge. On whatever subject or object it gets steady, then it will have full knowledge of the object. That is called oneness with the object, and then it gets full knowledge of the object, and that is called real experiential knowledge. Gone. हम मदद नहीं कर सकते हैं। होता है क्या इसमें?
डाटा खत्म हो गया, ये उसके
लाइव में भी सब तो सुनेंगे, सुनने दो, जो सच्चाई है तो होता है ही। क्या हो जाता है तो लोग समझेंगे, ऐसे ही होता है। So now, this is the way to get rid of attachment, raga, bhaya. When one gets oneness, then there is no fear. And fear is because of the dualism. Dvetat bhayam bhavati. If there is dualistic ideas, then there will be fear. Why? How? When there are two fingers, always we see this easy example. One is small, other is big. The small will have fear of the bigger one, because bigger one will dominate over it, and every way it will be bigger only. So smaller will be always afraid of the bigger one. So where is the reason for the big to be afraid of small? One who is small now will be big afterwards, because it is relatively small, So relatively bigness or smallness, it is relative. So there is every chance of the small to become big. So when it grows, it will be bigger than the big. And then it will have all the influences over the bigger one, now big. So in this way, when there is two, there is no independency. One is dependent on the other, one is afraid of the other. All the relationship, all the qualities are born out of these dualistic ideas. If one is there, there is no comparison, there is no all these qualities. Qualities are born out of only comparison. Without comparison, there is no quality, there is no fear, there is no attachment, there is nothing. The moment it starts becoming two, all these are possible. That is called relativity. So in this way, when one gets real experiential knowledge, he gets rid of attachment as well as fear also. If there are two, then only there will be fear. And that too, again, is concerned with the physical body. That too is caused by false identity. False identity which is known as ego. Because of ego, there is fear. Because of dualism, there is fear. And that dualism is nothing but strong tie-up with the reality and unreality. Unreality is superimposed or assumed form that is called body. The body is unreal, supposed, assumed a form which is grosser than the absolute truth. And that's how the ego is so much attached to this body. Because of body attachment, all the attachment, fear and anger, everything, relationship, because of body only. And body is a total gross mass superimposed or assumed on the subtlemost essential self. That is called body. And both they are so much attached now, so they cannot be separated. Chit jad granthi. The awareness is aware of the body all the time, so that is called the tie-up. What to do? This is called nature. Because of the nature only all this happens. And nature means imbalanced state, that means one becomes two and many. So we are helpless. Yes.
So Swamiji, as per logically and analytically, in relatively, if you have to understand as per 360 degrees, when we say that attachment, so logically if we say, then it's a functioning of the mind.
Pardon?
It's a function of a mind.
Yes, mind is a dualistic function. Mind means a flow. That means it is a changing phenomena. So there is dualism.
So if we say logically, so the function of mind, so then it's the same, but at the values derived from every day or due to its function, it changes. The value of objects is changes for every few minutes. It changes, the value changes. So in that case, if you say about like, this is for logical only, like control or restraint of mind when we speak. So do we say it is about the functioning of the mind, or like it is a mind itself? Because initially we said the mind is inseparable from its function, which are the vrittis.
Use any language you like. Dualism is the cause for everything. This is the basic principle. If there is monoism, there is no problem. All the problems arise because of dualism. Dualism means imbalanced state, and monoism means absolute tranquility or equilibrium. Over this you go on thinking as far as you can and use your language as much as you can. There is no objection. Explain it as you like. This is the basic state. So because of imbalanced state, because of changing phenomena, because of nature, because of imbalanced state of three qualities, because of this mind, because of all these functions, changing phenomena, all these arise, all the problems. Call it as you like, call it time, call it space, call it mind, call it action, reaction, call it the function of the nature. Use any language you like. We have no problem. No objection. You must stick to the background, the underlying principle. Then everything will be clear. So now, getting rid of fear, attachment and anger also. When there is no dualism, there is no attachment, there cannot be any desires. So without desires, where is the possibility of anger? When the desires are not fulfilled, then only anger is just friction between the two. That is called anger. It creates some heat. Anger is poisonous. It is a poison. It creates so much imbalance state in the body, blood circulation, mental functioning. The poison is created, and out of too much anger, one gets fainted, and there is chance of death also, heart stoppage also. Everything is possible. Buddhi nahasad pranasyati. When the intellect fails to judge something, then the person is ruined, he is perished, gone forever, without control. What happens when the steering is out of control in the hands of the driver? Anything can happen. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nasanam atmanah. These three are the gateways of the hell. So attachment, fear and anger. Hanji. So one who gets rid of all these by attending purity or oneness, that is possible by the dawn of knowledge. Knowledge is said to be the fire which can burn all these qualities. Knowledge means oneness. Union with the one means feeling of experiencing the oneness. When there is oneness, there is no fear, no attachment, no anger. So that is, from other angle if we see, it is called purity. And that is possible when oneness is there, that is called knowledge. So he says, by the fire of knowledge, by the tapas of knowledge, tap means heat, fire of knowledge, one gets purified. Purification means absolute purification is oneness, and that is attained when knowledge dawns, and that then I am that. The purified ego becomes one with my being. He becomes one with the Absolute. That is what Lord explains to Arjuna. Bhagavad Jnana tapasa manmaya mamupasitaha. One who becomes one with me, saturated with my thoughts, and get refuge in me. He surrenders 100% to me. That means his ego is totally zero. No question of his separate identity. He has offered everything. Tan, man, dhan, the body, the belongings, and the mind. So what remains? Nothing. So this is called full surrender. Mam upasritaha, one who takes refuge in me, and one who is saturated with my thoughts and myness, my being. He becomes one with me, and that is possible when there is dawn of knowledge, and such cases many are seen. Bahavu madbhava magataha, they have attained me, not one or two. Hanji. Many examples are there. When one gets knowledge of the self, attachment to sense objects ceases. When he realizes he is the constant, indestructible, eternal self, and that change is simply a quality of the body, then he becomes fearless. It is all these fear, attachment, anger, etc., that belongs to the person who identifies himself with the body. All these are nature of the body. I am not the body. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva sansaya. Nasyante tasya karmani tasmin dishte paramare. One who attends me, his karmas are no more there. That is burnt by the fire of knowledge, and the tie is burnt up. No tie between the Absolute and the so-called physical body, and then he is no more subject to action and reaction. When he becomes fearless, when he is free from selfishness, means body attachment is not there, when he beholds the self only everywhere, how can anger arise in him? No question of any anger. He feels oneness with everyone. Can you be angry upon yourself? He who takes refuge in Brahman or the Absolute becomes firmly devoted to him. He becomes absorbed in him. Brahma-leena, he becomes merged in the Absolute Truth. Or Brahmanistha, Jnana tapas is the fire of wisdom. Just as fire burns cotton, so also this Jnana tapas burns all the latent tendencies, vasanas. The storehouse of seeds, the chitta, subconscious mind, is totally destroyed. Russia puts bomb on the mall of Ukraine. The supermarket is gone. Nothing is available. So our mall is subconscious mind.
Online mall is still available.
Supersonic missile. That is knowledge. It wants all the storehouses, and all the vasanas are burnt up. He who takes refuge in Brahman or the Absolute becomes firmly devoted to him. He becomes absorbed in him, Brahmanistha or Brahmalin. And Jnana tapas is the fire of wisdom. Just as fire burns cotton, so also this Jnana tapas burns all the latent tendencies, vasanas, cravings, trishnas, mental impressions, sanskaras, scenes, and all actions, and purifies the aspirant. So everything is done with one atom bomb. One is enough. There is no more world war. Problem is solved. वीतराग भय क्रोधा मनमया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञान तपसा पूता madbhavamagataha. Many have come to me in this way. The process is to get rid of attachment, fear and anger. And the process we have seen now. And this is in a other way. It is also given by the path of yoga, Patanjali yoga, Ashtanga yoga. If you have nothing to do, you fail to do anything, you have got failure in all the attempts, then what to do? What remains? The last option? Hands up. Surrender. Tat pranidhan deba. If you cannot get succeed, in these attempts, eightfold yoga, then last option is to, to surrender by all means. O thou, O Lord, thou will be done. That is the last way, the last attempt one can do, and it is not only stated in, given by the Yoga Sutras, in all the paths of yoga it is given. In Bhakti Yoga also, surrender is the last attempt. O Lord, thy will be done. I wish, but last my pardon?
Last, first also.
Yes, yes. Oh, I have will. My will is never done. He has no will. His will is ever done. This is the last trial. Hands up. So, in all the paths of yoga, in Jnana Yoga also, I is not found anywhere. When the I is lost, then that is indirect total surrender. So everything is achieved. And that now our transaction, our business we shall start. How much you give, how much you will get. We shall see now. So in this way surrender, and the other way is replacement. Pratipaksha bhavana. When rag, dvesh, krodh, ityadi, all these dominates, you are unable to control all these. You are unable to control your senses, mind, etc. forcibly, or by some way. Give them some good job. Let them be entangled, let them be over, means let them do something to forget this. Just as we do with the children. If the child is stubborn, he is not giving up the toy. Once what happened, lovingly I took hold of a beautiful child and took into my lap, and he caught my pen took it and tightly hold it. He is unwilling to give it up. So what to do? His mother took the child back, but he is not leaving the pen. So something more attractive than the pen, when given to him, naturally he throws it. Some balloon or some toffees or something more attractive. So he is attracted to a better object, attractive object, and then he gives it up. So this is called replacement. This is the way we have to adapt with our senses, mind, and when we are unable to control them, we have to give them some better, nice looking or attractive jobs with some hopes you will get this and that. So naturally there will be attraction, and the mind or senses, they will give up the bad habits. Replacement. Pratipaksha bhavana. Do the japa of Ram Nam. By that you will get power of speech, you will get this, you will get that. That's why falshruti. Everywhere we get falshruti. Some attraction must be there. Mind is very tricky. We have to control it by skill. Yoga karmasu kausalam. We have to control it. Either face-to-face fighting. If you fail, don't try that. Attack it from backside. Or giving some attractive, some job to it. Or some hope, future hope. In many ways we can control it. That is called yoga. So in this way he says, many have attained me and they have been united with me, oneness with me, and they have easily controlled all these. So now let us come to our business. ये यथा माम प्रपद्यन्ते ताम तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. How much you have money? Have you 10,000? So you can spend one night in the lower apartment of 5-star hotel for one night. That's all. Tomorrow you will be thrown out. If you have 1 lakh, okay, come on. 10 days you can easily stay. How much you can pay? That much you get. This world is a business center. Everything is measured. Action has 8 equal and opposite reaction. So always we have to be alert. You should expect that much, as much you give, you get that much only. So je yatha mam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajamyaham. One who thinks of me in a particular way, I also think of him in the same way. Action has equal and opposite reaction.
Swamiji, in just earlier shloka, we have talked about oneness. Now
Oneness.
This shloka talk about duality then.
Yes, we are in dualism. He just explains the way to get oneness. But we are in dualistic world, in relative world. Arjuna is not willing to fight, not willing to do his proper duty at the time. And that is what Lord explains to him. You have to do your duty. Doing the duty, it is only in the relative world. There is no duty remains for a jnani. Arjuna is no more jnani now. He is bewildered. He is an aspirant. He has surrendered to Lord. Sishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I am surrendering to you. I am unable to decide what is right for me and wrong for me. So, O Lord, I am bewildered to hear many things you are explaining. So give me something decisively. I will follow it. That is what Arjuna said. Accordingly, we are discussing everything. And according to his surrender and bewilderedness and his question, Lord is explaining him. That's all. Where is the question of oneness? It is not achieved now. But people do achieve this. The hope, the idealism is before you. So if you try, you can get up.
Yes.
standing at the footboys, gazing at the sky. How can you get up, boys, if you never try? You have to do. Doing and getting the result is possible only in the worldly parallels. So we are in relative world only. Be aware where do you stand. कौन सा खेती के मूली? हाँ जी, होश में रहो. So tomorrow we shall see. We shall do business tomorrow. For today this much. ये यथा माम प्रपद्यन्ते ताम तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. In whatever way men approach me, even so do I reward them. My path do men tread in all ways. O Arjuna, I am the peak of the mountain. From any path you can climb and reach me on the top. Because he is in the top. He sees everyone. He rewards according to their achievements. That is how everybody gets their reaction, results of their actions, and sitting above the nature, his power controls everything. The subjects, the armies, the cabinets, they are the Prakriti, the nature of the king. They do everything, not the king. So this way, tomorrow we shall see elaborately how much you give and how much you will get. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari